Holy moly. So I'm sure most of you know, today is the 12th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is kind of crazy to be honest. I got in the series when I was 11. I'm 23 now, so pretty much, yeah, like half my life. But as well, most of you probably know that on the anniversary, we tend to get something, sometimes not that much, admittedly. And I know a lot of people, even on this channel, were quite, confident we wouldn't get anything. I actually got quite a lot of stuff that I'm pretty excited about. I mean, it's not like too many things, but it's still pretty hype. And I thought I'd just make a video to kind of talk about my thoughts about them. I'm sure most of you have already seen them, but if you haven't, you'll be informed here, I guess, as well. I'm also going to talk about them in order of how excited I am for them, although I am pretty hyped for all three of these things, so it doesn't really matter that much, but, you'll see what I mean when I get there.
Super Mario in real life.
So basically, when the day started, I was actually grocery shopping when the FNAF Scott Games Twitter finally updated their profile picture, by the way. That's pretty hype. But they also posted this, like, a random-ass pizza box. And I was like, okay. I was like, this could be anything. This could be FNAF 3. This could be the next game. This could be the FNAF 1 remake that some people thought existed. This could be the Click Team thing that we thought existed. This could be anything. However, obviously, as the day progressed, we got more stuff. And one of the things we got was a little trailer here that is a reveal for a actual genuine IRL Five Nights at Freddy's location, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. That's pretty fucking crazy when you think about it, considering people have kind of wanted this for a while now. And in the past, Scott has actually been hesitant about it for, I think, fair reasons. There's a couple different reasons why. It could be the child murder, it could be the gooning, you decide. And as far as I can tell, according to the posts about this, it's permanent to the American Dream Mall, which I think is in New Jersey, which is a quite big mall as well. The only reason I put this first is because it's technically the thing I'm least excited about, even though it's very cool, because I'm probably never going to be able to get to go to this, but it's pretty hype. And the fact that it's quote-unquote permanent is also pretty hype. It's not like a pop-up thing for like a couple months to 6 months or even just a year. They literally did not put a timeline on it. They just said permanent. I'm sure if it does really, really badly, it won't be permanent, but I'm also interested if this does really, really well, if they'll do more in other malls. And as far as I'm aware, in terms of like information, it seems like it'll be like an arcade, a pizzeria, mentioned something about like multiplayer survival, so I don't know what the fuck that means. I assume it's kind of like an IRL ARG kind of game, right? But like, that's pretty crazy. It's like a real ass thing you can go to. I don't know if you have to get like tickets or reservations or whatever, but like pretty cool. I have seen though, I think it's kind of cringe to like bring up this point, but there is like a shocking amount of people who are like, some people are joking, but there's like a lot of people who are being like, guys, there's like 12 games and a whole bunch of books explaining why this is a bad idea. And it's like, guys, do we dead ass think the MCI is gonna happen? Number one, there's gonna be way more adults at this place than there would be at a normal Freddy's, because I mean, come on, the FNAF fan base is gonna be a lot of adults getting in this place. It's in one of the biggest malls in America, so I feel like the security there is gonna be pretty decent, not just specifically at the FNAF thing, but just in general. So I don't really feel like there'll be that many issues there. I mean, I'm sure Chuck E. Cheese has issues sometimes, not necessarily specifically with MCI, but just weird shit happening. But overall, I think it'll be a really cool thing, considering people have wanted this forever. And as far as I know, all four animatronics will be present, and there will actually be stage shows, which is pretty fucking cool. Although it just makes me think about that one image. Yeah, and to be clear, it's also opening in 2027, specifically next year. Visitors will be able to dine at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, play arcade games, experience animatronic stage shows featuring Freddy and the Fazbear Band, visit Pirates Cove, which will be like its own separate thing, which seems to be a pretty common thing in other FNAF 1 based locations, including the books, and step behind the curtain for an immersive multiplayer survival horror experience, which I didn't like fully explain exactly what that means, but it is still pretty cool. There's also some art that I don't believe I know who the artist is, but if people have found it, I might try to look for it. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think this is the artist. I think people are saying this is the artist, so shout out to this individual who did the art, because I actually really like the way it looks. Foxy getting excluded is a little bit sad, but I actually quite like the art. I think it's cute, and it's like the first time in a long time I feel like I haven't been seeing She Who Shall Not Be Named's art on merch stuff, so that's pretty hype, I won't lie. And I kind of, like I said, I hope that if this does really well, that they might open other ones. It would be really funny, and I know Chuck E. Cheese would be fucking fuming if Freddy Fazbear's Pizza becomes like an actual Chuck E. Cheese-like chain and takes over that industry. But overall, I kind of see this as like the Star Wars location you can go to, I think, at Disney World, where it's basically just like this place where they kind of LARP. Like, everyone there is in character, and there's like different activities like build a lightsaber, build a droid, and stuff like that. So maybe they could do stuff like that where you get to make a paper pal. Maybe there's other little things like that. That'd be pretty cool.
She is such a bad bitch, though.
Steel will post it like they normally do. They've been doing this for like a month now, but today's was a little bit special. How fast can you identify this Five Nights at Freddy's character? Comment your score. Ready? I think it's obvious who it is, but there's an interesting thing that happens right towards the end. Blink and you miss it type shit, but obviously everybody did catch it, and it seems to be a new design for Vanny, and we can kind of get into that if I can find it. What is I know someone posted a much clearer version. This is a much clearer version. They tried to clean it up as best they could. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, people have tried to clean it up as best they could. Obviously, it's still gonna look a little bit weird, but this is the best that people have done so far. It's pretty crazy. I know a lot of people are kind of making fun of it slightly, saying it looks like the Joker. I kind of like it. It's like really creepy. Like it is creepy. Also, she has a knife. She has a knife, I think. At least it looks like a knife. I mean, I don't know what else the fuck you're holding like that, which is pretty fucking cool because obviously Vanny was marketed to have a knife originally, but they never gave it to her. So it'd be pretty cool if she had a knife again. Now, it's actually pretty interesting to think about this because a lot of people are tossing out a billion ideas, right? Not just like physically looking at this. Like I do like this design because you have like a big ass bow. It looks like this red bow. And then we'll address that in a second, but for some reason, homegirls in latex, someone at Steel Wool. They know what they're doing. But people are throwing around all kinds of ideas based on this because obviously the first thought to come to mind is Glitchtrap is gone. Like not only did we free Vanessa from Glitchtrap in Security Breach in the Princess Quest ending, which we're pretty sure is canon given the events of Ruin, but also Glitchtrap died. It was confirmed by JTop that that was the end of Glitchtrap. It was a little bit anticlimactic and a little bit confusing, but that's it. Glitchtrap's dead, or at least that specific incarnation of the mimic virus or whatever the fuck Glitchtrap really was. Which is crazy because one of the theories that I actually said at the end of my Help 1 and 2 playthrough,
flashback, that clearly indicates that Vanny has become her own entity, correct? Like, we freed Vanessa from Vanny, but perhaps Vanny stayed in Princess Quest. And so now Princess Quest has completely gotten rid of the Mimic and has now become her own entity. So she's not a blonde woman anymore, she's just the Vanny costume. And that helps solve the problem that Vanny was a wasted villain. Because I was of that opinion. I love the idea of Vanny, and I love her design, but she was criminally underused in Security Breach. And she wasn't in Ruin, obviously, so maybe this is their way of remedying that and having their cake and eat it too, and saying, okay, we freed Vanessa, but Vanny is now over here. They split.
End of flashback.
Might actually be right. She did seem to split off at some point. Now, exactly how she did, whether that is Agony Creature, maybe this is an AR only thing, so maybe like, you know, Vanny is a Agony Creature but only exists in the AR world, and maybe she can't interact with the real world that much, or some sort of fucking Vanessa mitosis. It's also possible that the Mimic can just kind of Winter Soldier activate her because the Mimic would probably have elements of the Mimic virus in him anyway, therefore they can activate it in Vanessa, I guess. I don't know. Also, technically could be Cassie, although it would be a hell of a time skip if it was, because Cassie is not that tall, let alone like looking like that in general, but like, you know, because she's like 10, it would have to be at least a 10-year time skip probably. So I don't think it's Cassie, but I understand why people would think that because that's kind of the direction we thought it could go. But a more interesting idea that I thought about, even though I don't know why the suit would look so different, is a prequel. It could be a prequel to Security Breach and kind of set up the events of Security Breach, and maybe that's why it's just straight latex and not her like fabric suit, because maybe she hasn't made the fabric suit yet, but the mask is very different and very creepy. But like, if it is a prequel, you maybe play as Vanessa, maybe not, and it maybe sets up this story that Scott actually wanted to be in Security Breach, like to help us understand things. So it might be a prequel, it might not be, I really don't know. Also, I don't know if I can find another post about it, but people have pointed out that you can very obviously see a 2 in her eyeball, and that is the Security Breach font. So it is most likely Security Breach 2. I don't think it'll be Ruin 2 because Ruin was a DLC, so I doubt it'd be Ruin 2. I think it'll be Security Breach 2 personally. She also has like lipstick that you can't really see in the other picture I was using, but yeah, she has like black lipstick to go along with it. So yeah, we really don't know what this is. Obviously, it is fun to theorize. This is either Vanessa retaken over, or Vanny became an Agony Creature, or it's a prequel, or this is somehow Cassie. I think Cassie is the least likely option in my opinion. I do think we still have a little Vanny running around with Cassie, but I don't know if she'll ever get to become a full Vanny. I think Gregory will probably save her beforehand, but who knows? Who's to say? Maybe Roxy saves her. I don't know. We don't know. I do wonder though, like where we go after the Mimic saga is over, because like, I mean, no one could have predicted the Mimic anyway, like that just kind of happened, but like, what do you do? Like, you just do a third thing? Or to be honest, I do think that it's possible that we get remakes of the first 6 games. They don't necessarily have to be 6, but like, I think there's a strong possibility we get remakes. I don't know how accurate to the original gameplay they would be of the first 6 games, like the original, you know, Afton storyline, potentially created to be a bit more cohesive. It'll probably still be its own continuity, but it would still be like FNAF 1, you can see like a Helpy poster, right? It'd be one of those things where it's like they're making the story knowing what's gonna happen, so it'd be planned out, I guess, maybe in a better way, because Scott definitely planned things out, but like, when he made FNAF 1, Helpy did not exist. When he made FNAF 1, William Afton did not exist. There was a killer, but William Afton did not exist. But now everything could be a little bit more cohesive, maybe. I don't know. I'm interested to see what people's thoughts would be about remakes. I also do wonder if it's at all connected to like the Guess the Difference, like pool rooms stuff that they've been doing, because obviously people have been thinking about this a ton and like, what is this? What are they like, literally, what is this, Steel Wool? Even though it's like clearly Monty's glasses, then you had like the original one that they posted, which was the one, yeah, the like the pool rooms one. Like, is it another Pizzaplex? Is it the Pizzaplex before? Because I know someone actually even pointed this out in my Discord, and I guess I don't necessarily want to, I don't know if they want to be credited, so if they do want to take credit for posting this, they can comment down below and timestamp it. But anyway, they basically pointed out that in the sunglasses of one of these, or in the reflection of one of these sunglasses, you can see ALLY, it seems. And some people thought maybe it's like, you know, something Foxy related, but like a lot of people are saying Lally, especially considering apparently someone who works at Steel Wool, I'm taking the word of people, was using a weird baby mannequin as reference for something. So a lot of people are kind of maybe hinting that Lally might be in this game, which would explain the prequel nature. It could be an early Pizzaplex before it got so expansive, and maybe we see some book stuff, you know, of the early Pizzaplex, such as Lally, such as fucking Haps. We could see stuff like that maybe, if it is a prequel. It also could be a sequel and a new Pizzaplex as well. Two of those things could also be accurate at the same time. But overall, I do like this design. I don't know who at Steel Wool, though, made the decision to make her even hotter than she already was, bro, because what is happening? The third and honestly more crazy thing to me, and the thing I'm honestly more excited about, and you already know what it is, FNAF World 2. And you can't tell me this isn't FNAF World 2.
He was whipping up amazing foods, like making happiness. Actual happiness?
These are the adventure animatronics. Like, I do think Mangle and the puppet do look different than they did in game, but like, that's Adventure Freddy and Chica. You cannot convince me otherwise. I don't know what else this would be, number one, because it's a 2, and it's Mega Cat. This is not Fetch. This is not In the Pit 2. This is very clearly FNAF World 2. Apparently, some people have said that if you brighten up the image at the... What is Peepaw doing, bro? I can't find any in like the replies, but people have basically stated that if you brighten up the image at the bottom, you can kind of make out the words FNAF World. But regardless, I think it's pretty clearly FNAF World 2, and I am really excited about this game. It's not necessarily that I'm not excited for Security Breach 2, but we knew that was happening. I genuinely never thought we would get FNAF World 2. I love saying always been on FNAF World 2. I saw that as like a bit, that was a joke. Like, we were never gonna get FNAF World 2. I was so confident, considering how Scott feels about it and all that kind of stuff, that it would never happen again. And Mega Cat, by the way, what a banger selection. I think Scott was probably happy with the performance of Into the Pit and was like, guys, you know what to do. Because I'm sure he has seen how popular FNAF World is, even if he doesn't like it, and how the demand for FNAF World 2, even though it's not like a super serious, super like huge FNAF World 2 demand, it still exists. People, I mean, look at FNAF World Refresh and how well those videos do. Not just mine, but like in general. You know, there is a demand for this. And so I'm really excited to see what Mega Cat cooks up here, because I'm curious what the game will look like and play like, and I'm really interested in seeing new characters, which again, I know is the whole FNAF World Refresh thing, but like, I don't think this invalidates Refreshed. It's kind of just nice to have 2 cakes. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? But it'll be cool to see new characters like the Fun Times, the Mediocre Melodies, the Rock Stars, you know, the Scrap Animatronics, the Glam Rocks, Glitch Trap maybe, and Mimic stuff, and Jackie and Dolly and all this. Like, there's so many new characters, maybe even novel stuff, or book stuff, but I doubt that. But still, and I'm also curious about the narrative of this game, because FNAF World is really weird. I know everybody knows this by now. The whole thing with the clocks, the clock ending, and doing some of the stuff you do in FNAF World directly mirrors and parallels. Should have said that. That's like a word parallels, like a Winter Soldier activation for FNAF fans. But regardless, you basically are setting up Happiest Day. Like, you're doing all the same shit that you did in FNAF 3's good ending, which is really odd, obviously, but you know, no one has been able to exactly pinpoint what this is. I know some people say like, oh, the map is shaped like a brain, therefore it's the crying child's dream, or some people think it's the flip side and it's some weird purgatory, and maybe this is how the spirits exist within the mechanisms of like the animatronics. I have no idea. FNAF World is really odd. It was used to tease Sister Location though in Update 2. That was pretty cool, and that's what I'm wondering. I wonder if this game will be nearly as meta as the first, like having Scott Cawthon as a boss. Like, who would be the boss in this game? Fucking Sony? I don't know. I do wonder. Like, I wonder if it's gonna be as meta, if it's gonna be a canon game, you know, like it exists in universe. I wonder if the lore in this game, if this comes out first, which I kind of imagine that it will, but we don't get much of either game, so I can't really gauge whether Security Breach 2 or this is closer. I imagine FNAF World 2 is easier to make, but you know, Mega Cat does take a while on their games. Not that they're slow, they just put a lot of care into their games. So, and I really wonder how like big and expansive will it be? Like, how similar to the original will it be? Will it have more traditional turn-based combat? Again, will it be as meta? Will it tie into Security Breach 2? Like, maybe it sets up the story a little bit in a similar way that Update 2 of FNAF World also led into Sister Location a little bit, even if the plot kind of changed a little bit, because like we hear Baby's voice for the first time, but it's slightly different than the delivery that Heather Masters gives in the actual Sister Location performance. But I mean, this is peak, bro. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Always been on FNAF World 2, chat. And again, the reason I'm more hyped for it than Security Breach 2 necessarily is because we already knew Security Breach 2 or something of a sequel was being made anyway, because the story's not over yet for the other games. I literally could never have seen this coming. I deadass thought this day would never actually happen. I wonder too if it'll be not necessarily live service, but if they will do updates similar to Update 2 of FNAF World, and maybe technically speaking, maybe if this game comes out before Security Breach 2, we get a Security Breach 2 update and they add, you know, whatever animatronics are in that game, like Glamrock Bonnie or Glamrock Foxy. I don't fucking know. Glamrock Puppet. I don't know. But I am genuinely so excited. Overall, I'm very happy with what we got because we didn't just get nothing. I know a lot of people thought we were going to get absolutely nothing, but I'm pretty happy with what we got. I mean, FNAF World 2 alone is pretty peak, and I think you can kind of get a little bit of a hint on which one people care about the most by checking out like the views, which to be fair, it's been a minute now, so all of them have quite a lot, but FNAF World 2 has more views on the tweet. It has a million more views, as a matter of fact, than real life FNAF location. So I'm just saying, FNAF World got motion. FNAF's future is bright, man. There's so much ahead of us, you know, even if it was a little bit of a quiet year, and as much as I wish we got to see more of this, and like I wish they showed like a Security Breach 2 logo or something, but like we'll get there when we get there. I'm not too impatient myself. It's kind of funny when Scott said that we're actually working on a 2, not a 3. It was 2 2s. It's pretty funny. The one thing I was surprised though was no click team. 5 laps at Freddy's found dead in a Utah ditch somewhere, I guess.